Back in 2012, as a county, Gloucestershire, we were asked to pilot the then Prime Minister's intergenerational challenge on dementia. And my dual role as a lead teacher for Gloucester Healthy Living and Learning and my role as lead for PSHE, which is Personal Social Health Education at Newent, put me in a great position to actually try and do this. So we developed some resources, we trialled them at school, and then the lead teachers team for Gloucestershire Healthy Living and Learning were able to then try and get these resources out county-wide. My original fears, a lack of interest from young people, were quickly dispersed. It was a huge learning curve for me creating resources to engage young people in learning about dementia. With the project still going strong, I continue to see it as a great way to highlight the differences, acceptance, tolerance and understanding, as well as the importance of young people being aware of such a prevalent condition. These young people go on to spread the key messages, see the person and not the dementia. It may even impact on earlier diagnosis if more people are aware of possible symptoms. Over the years, the children have delivered many awareness sessions in the community, for example to the police, to librarians, town councils and younger peers. Young people, being so passionate and clear in their messages, seems to gain much greater engagement. Along the way, a variety of people have supported us in helping us understand the condition from within the Gloucestershire Dementia Training and Education Network and various people from within the Forest of Dean Dementia Action Alliance, including carers sharing their experience. These networks ensure consistent messages are given. Since producing this film, a Gloucestershire Dementia Alliance is being developed, with partnerships, conversations starting in each district. The Gloucester Healthy Living and Learning team are connected to this and can signpost schools in their locality. Throughout the project, we've been able to connect to the Alzheimer's Society Dementia Champions, who have been able to deliver dementia friend sessions to whole year groups. We are fortunate that the Forest of Dean District Council has dementia champions within its engagement team, who have worked with us throughout the project, often given their time in kind. In 2019, after many conversations with Sarah Davis from the engagement team, we decided to produce a film to raise awareness and to encourage people to see the person first and not the dementia.
My name's Mia, and when I was about 10 years old, I went to visit my great-granddad in a nursing home. I stood at the end of the bed and he opened up his eyes and looked at me and swore at me, as he thought I was a nursing home nurse. It made me upset, but then I went home and I thought about it and I remembered that he's got dementia and it's hard for him to remember lots of things at once, so people's names and faces. And the next time I went to visit him in his nursing home, he remembered me and gave me a lovely smile.
Frank is 82 years of age and is living with dementia.
It's okay, Frank. Let's get you warm. Come on, let's go.
This is PC Saunders. He often gets called out to people like Frank. Frank has lost his way home.
But why? Why is he in his pyjamas? Why won't he understand what the policeman's saying? Why won't he talk to him?
Frank lives alone. He moved here from another county around a year ago. He often likes to go out for a walk. But with dementia, it's not as simple as that.
Keeping people with dementia safe is really important to Gloucestershire Police. It forms part of the police and crime plan and is also part of our priority of being older but not overlooked. The Herbert Protocol is used for us to help keep people with dementia safe. It's a way of recording information about someone with dementia, things such as their description, their clothing, places they frequent and their habits. When someone with dementia goes missing, it's a really worrying time for family and friends. It's really important that you notify us as early as possible via 101 or 999.
So what is dementia, Louis?
Dementia is a set of symptoms that start off small but
can become severe enough to affect day-to-day life. Dementia is caused when the brain is damaged by diseases. There are many different types of dementia because the brain is so complex and the way it is damaged can vary. You'd have probably heard of the four most common dementias: Alzheimer's disease, frontotemporal dementia, vascular dementia, and dementia of Lewy bodies. It is also quite common for someone to have more than one of these dementias, making it mixed dementia, just like Frank.
Frank has mixed dementia, Alzheimer's mixed with frontotemporal dementia. He woke up this morning in his own bed in his own home.
Frank's mixed dementia means that although he lives on his own, he struggles with day-to-day life skills. He often struggles with memory, especially short-term,
losing things and being unable to recall or retrace his steps to find them.
Problem-solving becomes more difficult, including poor judgment and decision-making.
Confusion with timings and places.
The time is now 5 minutes to 10 a.m.
Unable to follow familiar tasks or instructions.
Visual problems, including spatial awareness and depth perceptions, have become difficult.
Finding the right words is difficult for Frank, and when there's lots of noise, he finds it difficult to join in and hold a conversation. And personality changes too, which can be really difficult for carers and loved ones.
Dementia is really hard to understand. We can learn by reading and education, but the best way to understand and empathise is to experience what it's like. So we decided to be Frank for the day.
We've chosen some tasks that Frank might do. We think these tasks are simple. We will take Frank's wallet into the co-op and we will buy a small loaf of white bread, a bag of potatoes and a small tube of sweets like Smarties or Polos. However, we'll be using parts of an age simulation suit so we can feel for ourselves the impairments that someone with dementia might feel.
Make a bun. Let me pack it for you.
My name's Jodie. Father has got mixed dementia, which I find really helps with working in the co-op, understanding whatever problems sometimes people have got.
You paying a cash or card for that today?
Okay, it's £4.78 then, okay. You have to be patient when they can't get their change out or if they're rushing or fumbling.
All right, shall we count it for you?
Yes, please. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 50, 5. All right. So it is very difficult, but it has given me experience, understanding whatever problems sometimes people have got, whether it be dementia or other issues, not rush people and just give them the time they need.
Thank you. How do you think Frank feels on a daily basis?
Well, I honestly feel sorry for him because he's having to deal with this every single day, and I was struggling with it for 10 minutes, but he's having to deal with it, with all the noises, not being able to grab stuff properly. He's constantly having to make sure he's not tripping over, as I tripped over on that bit of carpet. There's no cure for it, so he's essentially stuck with it for the rest of his life.
My observations from the task was that Jamie had struggled with everything. He struggled to get the bread, he had to bend down, he was looking at the name really closely to it. And at the till, he had a bit of struggle with that. He couldn't do the button up on his wallet. And some people don't understand dementia, so if they didn't understand that he had it, it might have been like a big hassle. They might have got the manager, he might have been kicked out, he might have accidentally forgot to pay at the till. There was a bunch of things that could have happened wrong, and luckily it didn't.
The Gertsu is an example of one of the Forest Dean Dementia Action Alliance partners. So they have, the co-op has a fund which we were able to apply into. So we were able to purchase the Gertsu, which we now use across all communities, both in the Forest of Dean and Gloucestershire. So Dementia Action Alliance is a partnership of people in place. It's organisations, individuals, businesses who come together to make a difference to people's lives. Other partners do other things. We have people that go to an awareness session, they realise they've got knowledge and skills and they are already able to make a difference. They set up memory cafes. It's about them coming together to do things that enable people living with dementia to access things in their community, which means they can live longer in their community.
One person helping with this is Andrea Harmon. She can advise on the good and bad points of a building as it applies to people with dementia.
And we start with the approach to the building, not the inside. How easy is it for people to actually get into the space? So here we can see glazed doors with a good surround. However, duplicating this to one side, a window has a very similar look. This can make access quite difficult. The big bollards at the entrance to the space, are people meant to pass them by? Are people meant to enter that space? Are they meant to keep away? It's sending mixed messages. As we enter the space, the change between the light-coloured paving and the dark-coloured flooring can potentially be viewed as a step. Mats offer a big challenge to accessibility for many people with dementia. They offer a barrier to someone entering a space. Having to go round a mat can cause people to fall. And then the colour of the mat, many people will perceive a dark mat as a hole in the floor and get very worried and anxious about what's going to happen to them if they go near it. The reception desk itself is really good for accessibility. It offers a good visual contrast between the floor and the walls behind. It's staffed by a team of friendly and helpful people, able to help direct you to the space that you want to be in. So seating is really important. It's important to offer a variety of seating as people come in all different shapes and sizes, and also important that the seating offers a good contrast to the colour of the floor and the wall that's behind it. Seating here offers a really good colour contrast to the wall. However, if we look down at the floor, we can see that on the darker part of the floor, the contrast isn't so good, whilst on the lighter part of the floor, there is really good colour contrast. If we have an existing building, a good tip for seeing whether the furniture contrasts with the walls and the floor is to take a photograph in black and white. By looking at the photograph, you'll instantly see the objects that contrast really well. Signage is really important. Signage that incorporates both a visual and a written sign can help people access the space. One of the things we often forget about is exit signage. It's really easy with good signage to find your way into a space. But what happens when you're there? How do you find your way back out again when all the doors look the same?
Some libraries are helping people who are living with dementia by supporting the vision our team is trying to achieve.
Here at Newent Library, we pride ourselves in being dementia friendly. All of our staff receive dementia awareness training, and we work closely with local organisations to provide groups and continue to train our staff. We currently offer a tabletop gardening group which is accessible to all. Here we work closely with our local GPs to provide a books on prescription service. This can be done via prescription from a GP or a specialist, or anybody can pop into the library and browse the collection at their leisure. We are part of the Keep Safe Gloucestershire scheme. It's a local initiative where we offer a safe place to anybody who may need assistance. People can register to get their card. They have an appointed person who, in an emergency or any situation where people feel upset, threatened, or are confused, they can pop into the library and a member of staff will call the person that is listed on their card.
The Forest of Dean Dementia Action Alliance also carries the message into primary schools. Nikki Whitcomb is a lead teacher for Gloucestershire Healthy Living and Learning at Elmbridge Primary School.
Educating our primary school children about dementia and how people living with it can be affected is key to breaking down misconceptions and stigma surrounding the disease, and also to building understanding and empathy for the children. At Elmbridge, we teach the children about the 5 ways to wellbeing as soon as they join us in reception. And we make very clear links between looking after their physical and mental well-being and minimising the risks of dementia. This is all part of the dementia project that we do as part of our PSHE curriculum. We invite Sarah Davis, a dementia champion, in to run a dementia friend session with the children, which they thoroughly enjoy, and at the end of it they're awarded with their Dementia Friends Forget-Me-Not badge, which they wear with pride on their uniform.
So we're going to do just a little task. I want you to draw in between the lines of the star. You're only looking in the mirror, no looking at the paper or the star, okay? Are you ready? Go!
Drawing around the shape of a star in itself can be fairly easy. By adding the mirror, the brain will process the task differently, and for some is not achievable. If cognition is affected, planning for any task in day-to-day life can be more difficult for someone living with dementia.
We're finished again.
How was it?
I was trying to go forwards, but then I noticed it was actually going backwards, and I kept going up after the line.
Understanding the task, planning how to do the task, and then physically being able to complete the task can all be challenging.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight.
Our primary school children love to go to a local care home and get involved with singing and craft activities with the residents. It's great for the well-being of both the children and the residents of the care home, and it's a really, really positive part of the intergenerational project.
Here we are as in olden days, like the olden days of yore. Faithful friends that are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates
Often, people with dementia can clearly recall the past. We decided to create some memory boxes to help trigger meaningful conversations. For example, shells can help explore memories of childhood holidays and some objects' films.
There are other ways we can help people live with dementia. This is what we call a message in a bottle. The Lions Club leave them in the house of people who may find it difficult to communicate. On a note inside the bottle, they leave medical and other details of the person, so that emergency services can understand immediately how to deal with the situation.
Let's Talk Dementia game can be played individually or in teams. Its aim is to help people to communicate, support and help those who are living with dementia.
A person-centred approach values and accepts the individual, placing the person first and the dementia second.
Most importantly, we learnt from a study that people with dementia don't like being referred to as suffering from dementia. Instead, they prefer to be referred to as living with dementia. This is what we now say, living with dementia.
Claire Smeeth is a dementia lead for Crossroads Gloucestershire. She is involved in running Dog Days, which is a project run in conjunction with our team.
With the Dogs for Good, the pilot, it was a 6-month project, and at the end of that 6 months, it looked like it would have ended. We got feedback forums and everybody was saying, oh no, what we're going to do, we enjoy Dogs Day. So Dogs Day kind of stuck. So what we've done through Crossroads is we've taken over the running of Dogs Day. Dogs Day is all about giving people with dementia a chance to attend an inclusive club with the opportunity to engage with dogs.
We've had 3 dogs in the past, so really miss having a dog about, so it's nice for both of us to come and play with dogs.
Are you not able to have a dog of your own at home anymore?
No, it wouldn't be very practical at the moment, no. Certainly not we used to have border collies and they need a lot of exercise, and I couldn't be going out twice a day with dogs anymore.
And you're a real dog lover, are you?
Yes, I wrote a book on spaniels when I was a younger one.
You wrote a book on spaniels?
Yes, called all spaniels, all dogs, yeah.
She loves it, she loves people and she loves dogs, so it's perfect for her. And it's good because she can't hear, so it's good mental stimulation for her. But she absolutely loves it, don't you? Yeah.
And was there some training involved for her?
Yeah, we did 8 weeks training before we had to do a test to actually attend these. So this is Luna's second one. She passed in December. So, she was very good. We had to adapt it a little bit because she is deaf. But obviously I use hand signals, I can't talk to her, but she was brilliant, she amazed me, and being so she's only 1 as well, so I was really proud of her. You going to do a high five?
We had a black staffy with a white front, and she was absolutely lovely and loved everybody and their dogs and their grandchildren and everybody else. And I wouldn't have another dog because I look after Frank anyway, here next to me. He used to draw, and he used to paint, and he used to draw plans for people for planning applications, and he can't do any of that. It's gone. Yes, but when he gets agitated or when he gets cross because he can't do something, he becomes very rude, very rude. Well, I just have to say to myself, that's not the man that I knew. That's his illness.
I lost my grandfather to dementia. My grandfather lost all of his short-term memory, lost any idea of who we were as his loving family. Unfortunately, all that stuck were the trauma and the traumatic events leading up to his evacuation from the beaches of Dunkirk. When he returned to France as a veteran, he became confused. All he could remember was that hiding under a bridge, he was safe from the Stuka dive bombers, and that's where they found him.
My granddad loved sport, especially cricket. When he was a little boy, his dad hit the ball and he caught it with one hand, and he stood there for nearly 5 minutes, real happy about catching the ball. A few years later, he joined the army and loved doing his job, fighting for the country, and he had a gun collection. He used to always go see his girlfriend in Cornwall, so always getting a ferry, and he was like a joker, always pulling funny faces. Dementia really affected my granddad because one day when I was sleeping there, because he started to get really unwell with my nan looking after him, he went out with one of his guns and he didn't know what he was, because he had dementia, thought he was in the war, and he tried going over to the quays to buy some milk, because that's what he used to do when he was younger.
There will come a time when someone living with dementia will need more than the support of the community, and a move to care home or to a daycare centre will become necessary. This is not only for the benefit of the person with dementia, but also for the benefit of the carers, family and loved ones at home. The care staff within these settings are trained in diseases like dementia. This helps provide the psychological needs of each and every one of us. Love, inclusion, identity, comfort, attachment and occupation.
It's really important to have a daycare centre. It stops a lot of problems at home that may occur because family members are having respite care so they can manage their loved ones easier at home and they can remain at home longer, which is obviously much better for everybody concerned. My job I find really rewarding. Just engage the clients, bring some smiles and happiness to their day and just to make them all as happy as possible.
Do you like cats? The students decided that they would like to experience a daycare centre firsthand.
Sport?
Yeah, like netball, basketball, football.
I never played. I think I was too lazy.
Big swing, come on, Dennis. I got a new cat called Memphis.
Oh, wow.
He's nuttier than a box of frogs. He tries jumping off the banister, thinking he's like some diver.
Get the gun out.
The students asked Lou about his time as a chief of police.
What was the easiest job you went on?
Easiest?
Yeah.
Well, most of them are easy because I always believed that I would talk to and communicate with everybody and anybody. And that really was, that was
I asked Clyde how it was to have the children visit.
Well, it's nice to see other people.
And what have you been doing with them?
Playing games.
Yeah. Do you enjoy that?
Yes, yes.
I believe you've got dementia, is that right?
Yes.
Yes. And what's it like living with dementia?
A little bit difficult at times.
And do you live on your own?
My wife.
You live with your wife?
I would be no good without her. I can do so much, but she does it for me, really. It's good.
If you didn't have your wife to help you, you'd be in a home.
Yes.
How would you feel if you did have to go into a home?
Lost.
Lou, I'm going to talk to you about your dementia.
What dementia?
What dementia?
Yeah.
You've been poorly, haven't you?
Yes.
And what has been the problem?
Well, I suppose they put a name on it of dementia, but that was on and off within a week. So that's that.
And what have you been struggling with?
In school, nothing really.
Nothing really?
No.
And what's Sylvana been struggling with?
Well, me.
First of all, it came as a shock, because Lou was a very lively person. He was witty, he was teasing, all the good side of life he had to himself. And then he became to be a little bit forgetful. If I mention his forgetfulness to my daughter, she would say, "Oh, Mum, he's 80, of course he is." But it isn't the forgetfulness. What I couldn't make her understand is that when you have lived with someone for 60 years plus, you get to know their every breath, if you like. And to me, maybe an instinct, I knew there was something more than just old age. The diagnosis was brutal. He said, yes, you suffer from cardiovascular dementia. And with the same breath, he said, and I'm afraid there is no cure for that. At the very beginning, one day I said, when he was really in, what's the word I'm looking for? In denial. And I said, well, it's not really your fault, it's dementia. What dementia, he said. And he was very angry. So from now on, I said, that is a taboo word. If I have to point out, and I said, well, it's a forgetfulness. I mean, remember, we're getting old. You and I are getting old. Of course we forget. But the word dementia is not mentioned. I become his wife, his carer, and his mother, most of all. Everybody, every well-meaning person around me would say, he needs respite, you need respite, and it will do him good. And I just, something inside of me, I couldn't just bring him somewhere, leave there. And I was told about Shepherd House. So one day we went for a visit, and a lovely nurse there, Anne, made us very welcome. We had coffee, we had biscuit, and of course she started saying, on Tuesday we do that. But remember, it was just the beginning, and he was very much his own man. No, not for me. But the lady who assessed him, one day she rang me and she said, will you please have Lou ready by 9:45 because I'm taking him for coffee at Shepherd House. So I must confess, I told Lou half the tale. I just said that she had rang and she was taking him out for coffee, but not where. And another thing she didn't tell me, that by 11 o'clock she was going to Scarborough away and left him by himself. So imagine when I went to pick him up, I stepped into that room with sheer trepidation because I expected him to say, you conned me, you did, and I don't ever do that. Instead of that, he came out, he said goodbye, we got in the car and he said, how lovely the people are, how helpful they are. And so the next week I said, well, are we Shepherd House bound or not? Yeah, why not? I think that life has robbed him of so much. This is a horrible, it's a cruel disease. It strips you of your memory, it strips you of your persona, and to a certain extent, it strips you of your dignity. Do you think I am going to add more problem to him? Never, never. I love him with all my heart, but it's twofold. I love him as my life companion, and I love him as a mother. I want to protect him from this damn disease. I love to see him as he was. Handsome, cheeky, alive, flirtatious. But life has robbed me of that. It has robbed him of that. And that is so unfair. So unfair.
I'm very demanding. I want this, I want that, I want the other.
And why do you think you're demanding?
Because
when people have dementia, they might lose their abilities, mentally or physically, but there is one thing they never lose, their emotions. Going to see someone who might not remember us may be upsetting for us, but we can still have a nice time, make new memories, and it can be good for those with dementia as well.
When we arrived, we felt quite awkward, but when we got over our fears, we had a lot of fun. When I first came here, I thought it would just be boring, people sitting down just playing bingo, but when I joined in with them, they were playing lots of different games, having fun and enjoying themselves.
The people here loved having us around because it made them feel young and happy.
One of the ladies here living with dementia, the dementia had affected her visual interpretation, and she couldn't remember asking me the same question, whether my blazer was black or whether it was green.
It must feel like being lost in a maze, not knowing where you've been or where you're going.
Dementia is like being lost in a maze. You never know when something's going to jump out at you. Your brain is searching for something that looks or sounds familiar.
Having dementia is like being lost in a maze. You keep on hitting barriers and you can't find the right words. This causes frustration and confusion.
Dementia is like being lost in a maze, not only for the person, but their loved ones. They mostly see the dementia, but I'm still here.
When I was a little girl, my nan, Lucy, used to look after me, and I couldn't imagine then a time when I would have to look after her instead. But that happened. When she was diagnosed with dementia, it soon became clear that as a family, we would have to do more for her. It was little things at first, helping her find her way around a shop, understanding that she might go out and forget her way home, that she'd put things in the microwave, forget they were there. It then developed. She started writing notes around the house, and it's those notes that I remember. Because in drawers, in cupboards, she would write the same words again and again, and they were, "I'm still here." And I think those are the words that now that my nan has gone, I remember, because she is still here. And even when her dementia was at its worst, when she didn't remember me, when she thought I was a criminal stealing things from her house, when she just looked at me blankly, she was still there inside. And what we would do is sing together. Singing and playing the piano was something that she always loved. So even though she didn't know my name, even though she didn't know my daughter's name or recognise her own son, we could all sit there together and sing. So no matter how bad the dementia gets, that person is still there.
I first came across Alzheimer's when I was 17 years old. I went to work in a nursing home and I worked on the medical side. There was a long corridor and it was glass, and I would watch these elderly people walk up and down this corridor, and I became fascinated about who these people were, so I asked to go and work on this ward. It was a secure ward with people there with Alzheimer's and dementia, and it was the start of a career that I fell in love with. And now I am the daughter of an Alzheimer's sufferer. My father is 86 and he is an incredible man, and having the dementia awareness has really helped me because it's made me understand about the bookcase, and now I see my dad's volumes drop off that bookcase, and having that understanding and having the knowledge that I have allows me to remember who the person he was to me and still is. And we have great times going to his favourite places and recounting the memories that we have together. I took him recently to Ambleside in the car in Cumbria, and he didn't know where we were going, but he was enjoying the views. We got to Langdale, his favourite place, which is where he used to climb when he was in his 20s, and he went there every year. When we got there, he was able to direct me to his old haunt and the hotel that he used to go to. We parked up, it was a beautiful day, and Dad took me on a long walk without any maps, without any guidance. He could take me on a journey that he had done years ago, and he enjoyed it. And it was for a moment, for that day, we were together, and Dad was Dad. He wasn't the Alzheimer's that he has. And it was the most pleasurable experience that I've had for a very, very long time. And I think it's important for everybody in the community and the people that we meet on a daily basis to remember that these are our parents, they're our loved ones, and as my mum says, they're our beloveds. And that people need to realise that sometimes if people are in shops and in the community, that these people need some support and patience and above all kindness.
I need someone to hold on for me,
to what I can seem to hold on to. The life we used to live is slipping through my fingertips like a thread that's unraveling. I suppose that nothing lasts forever, and everything is lost in its time. When I can't find the words that I'm trying to speak, when I don't know the face in the mirror I see, when I feel like I'm lost and alone in this world, won't you please remember me? Remember me. When I can't find the words that I'm trying to speak, when I don't know the face in the mirror I see, when I feel I'm forgotten and lost in this world, won't you please